you have a change of heart, wanna make a brand new start. You've been living on the edge with forever as a pledge. No more giving it up, turning me loose, setting us free. Baby, keeping it real, cause we got what it takes for sure. There's no turning back anymore. Can you see it's all a game? Life goes on all the same. If at first you don't succeed, all you've got is all you need. If you believe, then stake your claim.
Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome to Rise and Thrive Together. Rise and Thrive Together is a vibrant community committed to educating, empowering, and equipping you to get the results you want through real talk, real actions, and getting real results. Now, if you are new to Rise and Thrive Together, we want to welcome you. And you're like, well, who is we? I only see one person. We is my co-host, Regina. She's a lot under the weather, y'all. I heard her. She's under the weather. And so we're just wishing her healing, sending healing vibes to her. And we're so appreciative. She is actually kind of with us. She's operating behind the scenes tonight. So this is what it means to have a community. I'm going to take my glasses off because all I'm seeing is the green light. To have a community is, even though she's under the weather, she's still coming out to be a part of and support Rise and Thrive Together from behind the scenes. So she is absolutely awesome. Yay! Super stoked. Thank you so much, sis. Really appreciate it. And for those of you that joined us last week, you'll see that I was having some technical difficulties and then just totally disappeared. We were having some technical difficulties in the house. We actually had a pipe that busted in our shed, so water was leaking all over. And it was just one of those evenings, but all is good. Thank God. Everything got fixed. We're all good. I'm here. And we're going to go on with our topic for today. Our topic for this month actually is getting to the heart of the matter. And what does that mean? Now, last week we had our guest, Susan Shafer, on, and she talked about what are you going to start, what are you going to stop, and what are you going to continue? And hopefully you guys were practicing that this past week, and you'll continue to do the what do you want to start, what do you want to stop, and what do you want to continue? Because it's really, really important to recognize what you're going to keep going, because you recognize what's serving you, what's not, and I need to let it go. And how can I grow something that I'm working on, whatever that something is and what that means. So we're going to keep going through this whole conversation of the heart of the matter and getting there. So I'm going to put my glasses back on because I got some notes over here. Don't mind me. I need to see these notes. So when we talk about getting to the heart of the matter, we're not talking about things that are just at the surface, right? That's the stuff that you can see. We're not talking about the surface of like your goals. We're not talking about the answer that you give to people, that prepared answer. And I'll be honest with you guys, sometimes it sounds like it's prepared when you say it. We're not talking about that. And we're not talking about just flashing up the highlights, because I don't know how many of you watch sports, but when they're showing the highlights, sometimes they'll show the greatest shots that these athletes put up. I'm a basketball person, so I'm going to say when they put up these shots. We're not talking about that, because highlights are just that. It doesn't give the full story. So we don't know what happened before that, right? If you were missing shots or whatever. But the highlight reels, we're not talking about any of that. But here's what we're really, really looking at. Here's what, in case you don't know what surface level means. Surface level can mean something like, I want the promotion. I want to grow my business. I want to be married. I want more money. That's kind of surface level, right? Those are outcomes. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them, but that's not the heart. Underneath those outcomes are now your emotions and your identity. Underneath When you say, I want the promotion, might be, I want to feel valued. Underneath the I want to be married might be, I don't want to feel alone in this world. Underneath the I want more money might be, I want to feel secure. Underneath I want success might feel, I want to prove that I'm enough. So there's some things going on. And it's not until we truly get honest with ourselves and what is really underneath what you're saying, can you build a life around something that never actually addresses your real needs. See, because when we talk surface, you're not really addressing your needs. So we've got to get underneath that and truly get to the heart of the matter. And how many of us avoid being totally honest? How many of us would really say, hey, I don't want to be alone. I want to feel valued. That's why I want the promotion. How many of us get that deep, really and truly to the heart of the matter, right? For most of us, it's easier for us to stay busy, move, keep moving. Some of us think that when we're so busy that that's progress. Let's think about that. When you are constantly busy, you have zero time and people call you and they're like, so what are you up to? And you'll tell them, oh, I'm up to X, Y, and Z. But the question behind all of that is, are you making progress? Can't confuse busy with progress. And when you really and truly take a look at the heart and what's inside, you know, most of the time you're not making progress. And let me tell you how I know this. I used to be one of those people. I was busy and I was grinding. And there was absolutely no progress being made. And when I got honest with myself to the heart of the matter and what really matters, here's the thing. What I found was everything that I was doing and everything I was doing with this grinding, all it meant was, all it led to, I should say, is that I was doing all of that for the wrong reasons. I wasn't doing any of this stuff because it mattered to me. I wasn't doing any of this stuff because it really made me happy. I was doing it in hopes of getting someone's attention. And none of the stuff that I was doing took root, didn't stick, because it was the reason, the purpose of it was wrong. So it wasn't going to make traction. And how many of you all too often do that in your own lives? I know I did it. And then I had to really and truly come clean, and not with other people. I had to come clean with me, because that really made the difference. It made me stop. Like Reg and I like to say, it makes you stop, pause, take a breath, and sit and say, what is it that I really want? What is it that I want to accomplish? And more importantly, my favorite question is, why do I want it? When you can get that deep, that is really and truly getting to the heart of the matter. It's actually challenging yourself. How many of you out there have ever challenged yourself? So let me just say this. I know people are writing in, but y'all, I can't see your writing. But I appreciate you for being here. So thank you ever so much for being here. And if you're just joining and you're like, oh my gosh, where's Reg? Reg is under the weather. So we are wishing her well. Okay. Now, back to this whole being honest with yourself and not avoiding your heart, because when we look at our heart and we focus in there, that's going to require us being still. And for those that are grinding, think that being still doesn't really fit. Being still is what you need to do, because everything that you're grinding and trying to get done and accomplished and just pushing yourself to the brink of exhaustion, is it really worth it? How many of you have worked tirelessly, literally to the point where you were about to just fall out? And then when you finally got to rest because you were so exhausted, if you did one more thing, you felt like you would just pass out. Was that thing, whatever it was that you were working on, working towards, working for, was it really worth it at the end? And if it wasn't, did you ask yourself the why question? Why was I doing it? Why was I pushing? Why was I grinding so hard for something that probably doesn't even matter to me? See, if you guys were following us, you'll remember that in September, I don't know my months, but in January, we were talking about what are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want? And now that's great that we found what we want to sacrifice, but now that we're getting to the heart of the matter, the question now becomes, why do I want this thing? And is this really what I want? Does that make sense? So for some of us, as I was saying, it's easier for us to stay busy. It's easy to keep moving, keep building, keep pressing, keep posting, keep achieving. Because when we're in motion, we don't have to face ourselves because we're too busy. And if you're always accomplishing something, you don't have to confront the fear that maybe you don't feel worthy without accomplishment. I know how that sounds. And if this was years ago, I think that would have hit me harder than it did just now. But how many of us are staying busy because we want to accomplish whatever it is we're working towards, whether that's finding a relationship and getting married, whether that's getting a promotion on the job, whether that's starting your own business, whether that's, hey, let me just keep traveling so people will think I'm so amazing and awesome and they always look forward to what I'm doing. But are we trying to reach these accomplishments because underneath, without those accomplishments, we don't feel worthy? If you're always in a relationship, then I don't have to sit with just myself and feeling lonely. And I was talking to a dear friend today, and we were talking about that saying. I don't know how many of you have ever heard it, and let me know if you've ever heard this saying that a piece of man, I'm talking from a woman's perspective, a piece of man is better than no man at all. Now let me translate. I could have said it in my Bajan dialect, but then that would have threw y'all all off and messed you up. So what that means is I'd rather have somebody who may not be the best person for me. They may not even be the best person for anybody than be by myself. See, because being by myself, I feel like I'm not worthy. And I'd rather have someone than no one at all. Wow. Now that is deep, and that is getting to the heart of the matter. If you're always chasing a new goal, you don't have to face the possibility that you might be running from something instead of running towards something. So what are you running from? What is it that you're not facing? See, all of this is when you are really getting to the heart of the matter. And sometimes that just means you're going to have to kick your own butt. You don't need anybody else to do it for you. Now, I'm going to try to read. I see the comments coming in, and I will try to read them, but I got to get so close up to the camera. I don't know if y'all want to see my forehead that closely because you won't see all the pores, but I'm going to try. Here we go. Susan says, been there, done that in my younger years. What that means to me is, Susan, you've learned something. You've learned that all of that going. Listen, the reality is at some point you have to sit with yourself. And if you don't stop yourself and take time, something or someone will stop you. Anybody ever get sick all the time and you're forced to just lay there in bed because it's that kind of sickness where you're immobilized, and to get up, your head is like, whoo. It's during those times that we need to ask ourselves, why am I doing what I'm doing? What's really and truly at the root of that? So let's look at that. right? Sometimes what we call ambition is actually avoidance. Oh my gosh. Reg, where are you tonight? I really need you to be the buffer. You know how this goes. Sometimes what we call drive is unhealed pain. Let's see, what is this one from Johnny? Thank you so much, Johnny. Huge wisdom. I love you so much, Johnny. We have to catch up because I definitely want to hear about the vision conference that you had. And that's why this conversation here matters because one, it's a challenge to you to really and truly look inside, see what's going on, what's happening, and asking yourself why. There's nothing, someone's going to misconstrue me. Let me clean this up for you. Okay. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with success. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you wanting a partnership. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with how you're doing it. My thing is, what's the reason? Because if you keep chasing it, that means in my head, it's kind of like how many of you remember that cartoon? I don't know whether you watched it or your kids watched it with the, what is that? The Roadrunner and the Wile E. Coyote. And Wile E. Coyote was always trying to catch the Roadrunner, but the Roadrunner was always faster. And I don't know if we ever found out why he wanted that particular Roadrunner, when I'm sure there were so many others that were slower. But we need to get on there. Why do we want it? Some of us want financial growth because we value freedom. Or can we want financial growth because it equates, are we wanting financial growth because it equates money with worth? Why is it? See, we all want some kind of freedom, but do we really and truly understand what freedom means? We think freedom is removing barriers. Now that I've got this job paying me six figures, and let me tell you, I've had those jobs, that job paying six figures, and in this economy, it still ain't enough, y'all. So why else do we want it? That's the question. Because you want this six-figure job, it's going to require something of you. And are you capable of giving what it requires? Because it requires a lot. Ain't nobody out there giving out six figures just because they got that kind of money hanging around. When we have a goal that's rooted in a hurt, a past hurt, a trauma, a wound, it becomes insatiable. And what that means is that wound is always going to want more. What that translates into is it will never be enough. It is never satisfied. And I've got all these different movies and plays running in my head. What just came to me was, you guys remember that play? Now I'm dating myself, but it's all good because I'm blessed to be alive as long as I'm alive. And what was it? Oh my gosh, it was that play with the hungry plant, and it would say, "Feed me, Seymour." And that plant was insatiable. It never, ever got enough. And that's what happens when we really and truly don't know what's going on really inside, or we don't want to admit it, but we keep chasing something. And when we get it, because you're going to get it, and you're never satisfied. It's always what's next. You don't even take time to enjoy the fact that you just reached a milestone, that you just accomplished something. It's insatiable because that's not what you should be chasing. It's about sitting and spending time. It's about doing exactly what Susan did. I'm telling you, this connects with all that I'm talking about tonight. And that is, what is it do I want to start? What is it that I want to stop? And what is it that I want to continue? And dare I go again and add on the why? Why do I want to start this business? Why do I want to stop or end this relationship? And why do I want to continue with whatever it is that I'm doing? And listen, we're talking about this stuff tonight, it's not just, I don't want it to seem that I've got it all together, because I don't. We're all a work in progress and we're all learning. However, I've learned to sit and be still with me. I've learned to value and appreciate who I am. And I've learned how to have those hard conversations with myself. And yeah, Susan calls it, not Susan calls it, but she's learned the stop, the start, stop, and continue. And you may not phrase it that way, but you understand the point of what it means and how much it can benefit you. Let me tell you, I'll let you in on a conversation that I was having today. Same person had a great conversation. And everybody gets excited about a new year because they see that as a fresh start. I don't know how to say this, but you're still taking the old you into just a new year. So what's different? What makes a new year so different about you when you still have the same mentality, the same heart, the same way of being? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I want you to understand, just because that clock hits midnight and the year goes another year doesn't mean things change magically. That's not how this works. You still have to put in the work. Let me see, I've got something else. Our greatest gift is to have clarity. Ellen, you are so right. Let me tell you, because anybody ever had a cold? Sorry, Reg. Anybody ever been sick and you had a cold and like your whole brain just felt like it was full of fog? And I mean, not that light fog, like that heavy fire-filled fog where you just couldn't think. It even hurt to think. Believe it or not, that's how some of us are walking around. And we're not sick with a cold. We're just living our everyday life, but we're walking around in this fog. And when you're in a fog, it's hard to see in front of you. What would your life look like if you started seeking out clarity? What would your life look like if you started to sit and think about what it is you really want and why you want it? See, I want financial freedom, but I don't want it because I want people to be like, oh my gosh, she's got so much money. She's so awesome and great. And I don't need that. I don't need that. As a matter of fact, those people I'm going to put a block on. But I want financial freedom, and it's not for me, it's for others. That's why I want financial freedom. Yeah, it's nice to have money to do things, but what are the things you're going to do with it? Because if you don't do things that'll help you make more money, then the money you have will dwindle away. That's why there's a lotto or Powerball, a lottery support group. Because so many people want all these millions of dollars, and I'm going to do, and I'm going to buy, and I'm going to buy, and I'm going to get. And now you have all of that stuff. But what you didn't do was use the money that you were given wisely. You were just chasing and chasing, but didn't understand how to value and appreciate this money. You pimped it. I mean, I'm not mad at all. It's just because you didn't know any better. Achievement, when we achieve something without authenticity, it feels draining. That's getting to the heart. Because there have been things that I've accomplished in life, and it's like, okay, what's next? I didn't feel like, honestly, I probably didn't feel like I'd earned it or deserved it. That was a long time ago. When I say it was a long time ago, it's a long time ago, but not too far in the past. If you don't feel like you've deserved something, did you ever ask yourself why? Why do I feel like I shouldn't have this? I wanted it and I have it, but I don't feel like I should. Isn't that a contradiction? I have a friend who always says he's a walking contradiction. I'm like, stop saying that, because you're really not. See, remember, our words create our world. So when you have a world that's always in conflict or contradiction, that presents an issue. That means there's no rest. You're always up and doing battle. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So, how do we actually get to the heart of the matter? What does that look like and what does it mean? Well, We talked about it. You've got to create space for stillness and silence. Create that space. And what that means is taking some you time. You may have to go down if you're close to water. For me, water is so healing and so therapeutic. I find, and I spend as much time as I can, when I can, by the water. Because it's still, it's calm, and I can hear my thoughts without all the wah, 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 everybody all around. Right? So if you really want to get to the heart of the matter, find and create that space for silence. Not as a distraction, not as just something to have background noise, but nothing but you and the thoughts in your head. And for some of us, I know that's scary, because I know sometimes when I sit in my own head, oh, the stuff that just comes through. But I've learned to ignore the stuff that's coming through that's making me feel less than, and I accept what's promoting and building me up. We've got something. Oh, hey, Damon, don't know what you said. You ain't saying nothing. Second, what you have to do to get to the heart of the matter is ask yourself better questions. Some of us ask ourselves these namby-pamby little questions, like, oh, these closed-ended questions where you can answer it with a yes or no. That doesn't give you answers, yes or no. Ask yourself some open-ended questions. Ask yourself, how do I get this? Or instead of asking, how do I get this, ask yourself, why do I want it? How do I get it? You work for it. But why do I want it is a more of a, I got to sit back and I got to pause on why I want this thing. Because then you realize you may not want it as much as you thought you did. Ask yourself, what am I hoping this will fix? Ask yourself, what am I afraid of if I don't get it? And here's one that blew my mind. Would I still want this if nobody saw it? Wow. Wow. When that came to me, I was like, oh my gosh, that's it right there. Because some of us are doing things for others to see and to appreciate and value, and yay, you did this. You're so awesome and amazing. And we want that in our lives. Because that's only for that time. Tomorrow, it's done, it's gone, it's over with. But what would it look like if you sat in silence and stillness and asked yourself, would I still want this if no one ever saw it? And wow, I love the fact that I can say yes to that. Let me tilt these. I feel like Mary Poppins, y'all. I don't know if she ever wore glasses or not. Somebody tell me. And what would happen if I did get it? Yes, Susan. Take that even further. These questions are not just questions because we just feel like writing them. These are questions that, Susan, type in. Are the questions that you're posing? Did you ask yourself these questions? Because I know I did. And man, the answer that I got sometimes shocked me. It did. Would I still want some things if nobody was watching? And to that, I had to say no. And that hurt. Because then the next question that myself asked me, yes, y'all, that's how I talk about it. Talk about me. The next question I asked myself about what I want is, then why did you go after it? There's that why. See, that why question will get you each and every time. It'll have you reeling backwards, right? Oh, yes, in many forms, Susan said. Let me tell y'all, it is time, not because it's 2026, but it really and truly is time for y'all to get serious about why you want some of the things you said you want to accomplish this year. Just my recommendation and my humble opinion, I think we need to start getting real serious with ourselves and stop playing games. And not because, again, it's 2026, but because it's time to get real and raw so that we can accomplish the things that we were meant to accomplish. and not be interested in what people are going to say and how they're going to praise us so much. Because half them people, or 75% of them people that's praising you, girl, bye. They hating anyway. And they just doing it, but it's not genuine and it's not authentic. So this week, I want y'all to work on asking yourselves the hard questions. Can you do that? For you, not for me. See, I'll never know, but you will. And you continue to play it safe. And the fact that you didn't ask yourselves these hard questions will always be here, right here, haunting you. And we don't want that. We want nothing but success. But it's got to be the success that you want. Even if no one gave you an applause, a congratulations, but you did it for you. Can you do that? All right, y'all. Next week, we do have an amazing guest, and that guest will start talking about communication and questions and how we talk to ourselves. So tune in for that. But until next time, stay grounded, stay curious, and keep choosing you. Have a great night. Take care.